Hello everybody, Night Does. I'm back again. And this time we're going to do Maggoty, Traitor, Peen. That's right. Cheers, boys and girls. I know it's 5 o'clock somewhere, right? I need something to wet my whistle for this one, just saying. Okay, let's get into this lady, shall we? Now, I got some of this information. I got it off of the Google machine, different news agencies. Some of it I've had it. It's two ladies that have a video channel and a YouTube channel, and they're friggin' amazing. They're hilarious. They make me roar. And some of it's right out of Maggoty Traitor's mouth herself. Let's get into it. Okay, Maggoty Menace Peen. Now, she comes from one of the racist towns in Georgia. She comes from Cumming, which is apparently something she's extramaritally lived up to on the regular. In 1992, a few black marchers walked down the street singing and carrying a sign, "We shall overcome," and black and white together. Now, the first march like this happened in 1987, and it was the walk was Walk for Brotherhood is what it was called. So they were walking through the town, and they were greeted by things like, I don't know, Confederate flags and "Go home, N-word." But in 1987, when the march first started, that was in 1992, by the way. In 1987, at the Brotherhood March, this is gross. Rocks and bottles were flung, and mud were flung at them by the KKK and their supporters. So yeah, that's the type of town she comes from. And I think they were one of the first to have a sundown rule as well. Don't be seen in this town after sundown, right? But anyway, yeah, that's where she's from. In 1992, it was still going on. They had to end their walk that day because of too many racists out there, and they didn't like that. And what they were going for was black and white together and stuff like that. Because in Cumming, Georgia, this was in 2023, 75% are white, 8.1% black, 8.1% Asian. Aboriginal, like Native Americans, 0.5%, and 13.3% Latinos. So, very white. She's had many sexual adventures, including with the gold lame legs wearing, heart painted on an unruly hairy chest, tantric sex guru. They're into some really freaky stuff. She's a freak in the sheets for sure. Then moved on to her more raw dog adventures with a gym rat she hired to work in her CrossFit gym. Never mind. Let's not go there. I think Maggoty benefited from her workmates. Just saying. Then there's the family business, which she said she was the chief financial officer of a small business that she owned. Wrong. Her father owned that and raised it up to be what it was. And her father apparently didn't think she was good enough because he gave it to her husband to run. That's right. And she was the chief financial officer. She put a hard hat on and posed for pictures. That's about all she did. And it's not a small contracting firm like she said it was, but it's a business that Perry Green, her ex-husband, rose up to between $8 and $25 million. That's what that place is worth. So why she needed all that PPE and couldn't afford to do it herself is beyond me. And she sucked at her job so much that she isn't even listed on the website anymore. She's just listed as Perry's wife, ex-wife. Yeah. So, yeah, she's a good Christian woman that leaves her family to perform who knows what with who knows who, played at being a wife and a mother, tells lies about everyone that won't agree with her, and is thirsty as hell for a big, giant microphone jammed in her face. And she's her new Shaka, former drag queen, by the way, and Fox affiliate, because he's not good enough to be a Fox employee, he's affiliate, Brian Glenn, who says liberal women are ugly. So what's he do? Put a flag over her face and do it for his country? Just saying. Too far? Sorry. Sometimes I get carried away. But I think he's jacking her up for a rise in popularity. Because he's a failing local spokesperson. You know, the local TV star on the local radio station, that type of thing. Yeah. He's into her for publicity and money, and I think that's all. It can't be for her toes. We all know that. Anyway, she has used people like that lady that lost 2 kids to a fentanyl overdose in one day. But the only thing is, where she tried to blame that on Biden, but both those deaths occurred during Trump's watch. Oops. She voted against feeding hungry kids at school. She voted against the Violence Against Women Act. Wants pride flags banned. Trolls trans kids and LGBTQ folks because she's an ignorant bigot. She speaks at Nazi rallies. That gives her some cred, I guess. Aided and abetted and gave comfort to the enemy in the jail where the insurrectionists have pled guilty. They have had their trials. They were tried. They were convicted. And most of them pled guilty on their own and whined and bawled and cried to the judge. I'm so sorry, I disgraced my country. Well, you should have thought of that the day of, just saying. Now, she's guilty, in my opinion, of being in on the planning of January 6th, and even gave an interview on the steps of the White House after the meeting in the Oval Office was over. That's right, even before she was sworn in. That was in December. She didn't get sworn in until I think it was January 3rd. So she was all primed for the big day on the 5th. And she, in my opinion, will not be a vice president because, or the next in line, because have you noticed all Trump's wives ended in an A? There was Ivana, Marla, Melania, and now I think it's Alina. So there's no Marjorie or Nikki. No, they're out of the running, I'm pretty sure. So here's some stuff that racist, as Jimmy Kimmel calls her, Klan mom. This is some of the things that the town boyka said. Q is a patriot. We know that for sure. Do you really? That's just some guy on there putting out shit and he's laughing his ass off at you because you're sucking it all in with a great big giant straw. On the Las Vegas massacre, how do you get avid gun owners and people that support the Second Amendment to give up their guns and go along with an anti-gun legislation? Maybe you do that by performing a mass shooting into a crowd that is very likely to be conservative and very likely to vote Republican. According to Q, many in our government are actually worshiping Satan, or as they call it, Mowat. Mowat? I don't know. She doesn't know either. Very likely to be Trump supporters, very likely to be Second Amendment, and very likely to own guns is what happened in Las Vegas. Is that why the Country Music Festival was targeted? I don't believe Stephen Paddock was a lone wolf. He didn't pull this off by himself. Maybe because you couldn't. There's some really twisted fucks out there, I'm just saying. This is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to take this global cable of Satan-worshipping pedophiles out, and I think we have the president to do it. He's the pedophile. That's that 13-year-old girl he was accused of raping at Epstein's house, just saying. Joe Biden, you're not a president, you're a piece of shit. This is a congresswoman that's saying this. California wildfires were started by PG&E in conjunction with the Rothschild. That ain't a Jewish slam, I don't know what is. Using a space laser in order to clear the way for a high-speed whale project, she said. What the fuck is that? Generations of black and Hispanic men. Do you want to know what's holding them down? Gangs. Being in gangs and dealing drugs is what's holding them down. Them. That's not white people. That's not a white people thing. That's a gang thing. And gangs are holding them back. It's not white people. It's crazy. You know, I know a couple of white people. This is going to make you cringe. Grab the back of your neck. I know a couple white people that are lazy and sorry, and probably worse than any black people I know. This is an Islamic invasion into our government offices right now. What we have is that woman in Minnesota. Now she's going into Congress, and she's got to wear a head covering, and they want to put their hand on the Koran to be sworn in. No, to be sworn in, you have to be sworn in on a Bible. We can end it. What the fuck does that mean? And no, you don't have to be sworn in on a Bible. You can affirm. You don't have to swear on a Bible. Just saying. You can swear on the back of a chair if you like, as long as you agree to uphold your oath. When we rise up, we can do it peacefully. We can do it. I hope we don't have to do it the other way. I hope not, but we should feel like we will if we have to. And then January 6th happened. Q is a patriot. Is it going to be true that the child pedophile, double entendre, child and pedophile, I think it's in Latin, pedophilia? Never mind, let's not go there. And the elites in Washington, D.C., is that what we're really going to see? Is it true? Is this the kind of corruption we see come out? Is it going to be satanic worship that possibly all these elites are involved in? Now, Marjorie, you are in Washington, and you are a multi-million-dollar elite. So look in the mirror, have a good flash. The man in the mirror, Michael Jackson song? Well, I wouldn't go by his lifestyle either, but anyway. You are the elite in Washington. Or how about that pill mill that was just sailing out the back door of the White House when Trump got in there? Ronnie Jackson. He had 60 patients at the White House pharmacy. He gets in there and it went from 60 to 6,000. All of a sudden there's ketamine, there's friggin' fentanyl, there's uppers, downers, you name it. Everybody gets a baggie on a European trip. You got your uppers, you got your downers. Yeah. So Ronnie Jackson was their drug dealer, basically. So that's why, you think that's why Donnie Jr. and even Trump kept, that's why he's doing all that. It's all that Ronnie Jackson dust up his nose, I think. And he was found guilty and demoted from admiral to captain. That's right. So they took all that from the White House pharmacy on the daily. And they said, we have to go to a conference over in Europe, so go down to the pharmacy and get your baggies. And everybody had their Xanax and had their Provigil and all the rest of the stuff. And off they go, get on the plane. They take the Xanax and then yeah. So that's what's going on and the difference between the two. But Maggoty Traitor Peen is a disgusting, racist female dog. How's that? Anyway, Nan loves you. Be good, be safe, take care of you. I love you. Don't forget to subscribe.